Guys, welcome to the Angeles Forest. I love this car so much, and I can't wait to take you guys for a ride in the 2017 Porsche 911 or 991.2 Turbo S. This thing is bad. Miami blue, my favorite color. It is a 580 horsepower, 3.8 liter twin turbo, flat six, all-wheel drive with rear steer, with ceramic brakes, with the 7-speed PDK gearbox, PDCC sport suspension. Actually, this is a relatively light optioned car. There are 6 button blanks down here, so it does not have nose lift. It does not have sport exhaust. In fact, it doesn't even have sport seats. These seats are manual, which is pretty cool and also weird. It doesn't have keyless go, which for 200 grand is a little annoying. You can get all those things. It's just that the person who optioned this car, it's 198. I think they wanted to keep it right under 200, and so they left a couple things off. But of course, it's a Porsche. Like Burger King, you can have it your way. Nothing to see here. But Miami blue over black and carbon fiber is pretty cool. Let's go for a drive. Manual mode. We're in sport mode right now. I'll show you Sport Plus in a minute. I like sport mode. That's my favorite of the 3 modes. Actually, that's not true. There are 4 modes individual. You can set it up to have individual parameters, as it were. So sport mode for me is the comfort suspension with bumped up throttle response and quicker gear changes. That's pretty much where I've been driving it all week. And I mean, I've been driving it all week. I've put over 400 miles in this car in the last 6 days, and it's just the best. The 911 Turbo S is so good at everything. It's insanely fast. It's very comfortable. I mean, these aren't even the crazy seats. These are the basic seats, and I mean, I've spent hours and hours and hours in this car, and it's comfy. Whoa, it goes 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds, and that's according to Porsche, which means in real life it's probably actually faster. And I'll launch control it on the way back. But oh, the torque of 3rd and 4th gear is crazy. You will make good use of your brakes. If it were me, I would want the sport exhaust on this car, because I can hear some burbling back there, but it's really muted, and the sport exhaust really does sing, kind of eliminates the need for an aftermarket exhaust. This is a little quiet for my taste. The sport steering wheel is nice. It's 10 millimeters smaller in diameter. Gives you the impression of more direct steering, although the ratio is the same. This car does have active aerodynamics, front and rear. They're automatic. Right now they're off. I turned them on. Spoiler extending, reduced chassis clearance, it says. Now we've got anti-lift measures, front and rear, which for this very high-speed road with these sweepers is going to be a good thing. That rear steer is still one of my favorite options. They've really sorted it out. Basically, you get opposite rear steer in tight corners, and then you get same direction rear steer in the open sweepers, and that gives the impression of a shorter wheelbase when you want it, or a longer wheelbase when you want it. God damn, this car is so fast. Jesus. And look, the ride, it's still so good, right? When you've got these dedicated platforms like the 911, you can have something with insane capabilities, truly supercar stuff by any measure, and then it rides well because there's no engine up front, so you can have those long control arms, and the longer the control arms you get, precise control over your your shocks, you don't have to have these big angles. It's smaller angles. And that's how you get ride and handling simultaneously. Oh, the G-force has loosened my audio gear. Well, G-force will swing it back the other way. There it goes. Okay, buddy. Okay, I tightened you. There we go. It's just, I mean, it's glorious. It's glorious. I could have this car as an only car in Los Angeles, and it would be great. Great. Woohoo. So it's not a light car, right? It's 3,500 pounds. That's about, I think it's about 300 pounds heavier than a GT3 RS. All-wheel drive system, extended leather, interior, things like that. All weigh things, but it does have an extremely solid planted feel, as you would expect for a 911. And although the big argument against the Turbo S is that it's not, you know, the flashy exotic, and for this kind of price point, maybe you want something that gets a little more attention. I have to say that I thought that way, but this week I've had this car, you know, especially in this color, it does gain quite a bit of positive attention. A lot of people give me thumbs up, and really are into it. All right, we'll go back and we'll get to the straightaway. I'll demonstrate launch for you, but the way it accelerates in first gear is violent. You could run this thing hard all day. All day. It's good. Now, I know that Porsches do brake occasionally, but it really feels like some cars have a very fragile feel to them. I just drove a Lancia Stratos, which apparently is very reliable, but it felt fragile. This car feels like it can't be killed. That's how it feels to drive a 911 Turbo S. And it gives you the confidence to feel like you won't be killed. I can really carry some speed with a lot of confidence. Third and fourth gear, that's really what it's about with this car. You don't have that crazy high red line like you get with the GT3. It's 7,200 RPM, but you start getting power at like 2,500, so you have such a wide power band. There's a lot to work with. Really, really a lot. I even started using the Sport Auto gearbox a little bit, not in the canyons, but around LA. They've really started making them much smarter. Jesus, just ran out of third there. Good thing we have excellent brakes. Alright, here we go. Here's my straightaway. I have rear visibility. We're going to switch into Sport Plus. We are going to go traction control and sport. All right, launch control. Hold it at 55 and go. Jesus. You have got to be. This car runs 10s straight up. That's 10s. Runs like a 10-8 quarter. It may be, what's their criticism? Clinical? It may be clinical. I'm going to do that same thing again in automatic now. That was manual. Here we go. 5,500 and go. It's like your eyeballs are getting sucked out of your head. It is crazy. I'm going to leave this thing in automatic for the rest of the run, and we'll see how it does on its own. Usually, depending on your throttle and brake input, that's how it knows when and where to shift, and it just chose correctly there. Good for you, PDK. Yes, it is true, these are the biggest that 911s have ever been, and I love the classics, but God, is this an unbelievable sports car. This could be the best, most versatile road car on the market today. I mean, if you consider the comfort, the refinement, the customization, the ability to have it your way, the ridiculous performance, one of the fastest accelerating cars in the market today, one of the best handling cars in the market today. You could drive it all winter on snow tires if you want to. They do that in Europe all the time. It's faster than I am, I assure you that. Which brings me to another point. Yeah, I got a little confused there. Isn't it funny that now that all 911s minus the GT3 are turbo, the only difference between a Carrera and a turbo now, the main difference is actually displacement. A 3.0 twin turbo versus a 3.8 twin turbo, and yet this one is still called turbo. That kind of go figures. The other thing is that I think this car's biggest Achilles heel, or the biggest threat to the success of the Turbo S, is actually the Carrera S or the Carrera GTS, because now that they all have a turbo power band at speeds that are slightly less than this, there's almost no difference in how they feel. You know, it's still got that mid-range shove, the building of the boost, similar sound, all of that. And if you're not Patrick Long, you know, you cannot get the most out of this 580 horsepower Turbo S. I can't do it. A few of you out there maybe can, but it's going to be very rare. Whereas the Carrera S and the Carrera GTS have a more manageable 450 horsepower, and they kind of feel similar to this Turbo S, just with less peak power. And so those for, you know, 75 and 95,000 respectively less than this car, that is going to be probably the biggest threat to the sales of the Turbo S. Nevertheless, this is a spectacularly good car with unbelievable capabilities, comfort, and features, and everything that I love out of 911s. This car really exemplifies. So thank you to Porsche, who lent me the car for the week. It is quite good. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.